and welcome to the Performance Cafe. It is episode 51, and as you can see, we've gone all Christmassy and we're finally caving to the festive season and all things family and fun related. And speaking of that, this weekend I saw a young artist. It was quite interesting that while everyone at the table that I was seated at, while everyone was talking about how beautiful his voice is, actually what a lot of people said is, it's amazing how much he enjoys himself. And I think that is the part of performance that we must never deny. And that is the passion behind performance. And it's all about not just doing something for the sake of doing it, but it's about wanting to do it, seeing the value of doing it, and feeling that you're actually contributing to something bigger while you're doing it. And it's so easy. A lot of people go, well, yes, Mother Teresa probably felt it because she was changing the world, and Mahatma Gandhi. But actually, all of us change the world. Because if the products and services that we deliver aren't actually visibly adding value somehow, they're not changing the world. And then actually we have to ask ourselves, is this really worthwhile doing? Okay, with the possible exception of fidget spinners, which I still don't understand. But you get what I'm saying, is that the bigger picture is, what does my contribution actually mean in the long run? And so often we think there are only particular types of jobs or particular types of people who respond to that. But actually, when we get people to buy into the solutions and the services that they help us provide, well, we actually are kickstarting intrinsic motivation. And intrinsic motivation is what keeps us going when intrinsic motivation falls apart. When I can't give you a bonus, when I cannot give you an incentive. And it's quite interesting how in this year we've seen with COVID how many companies actually have started battling with finances and how they've battled to give incentives and bonuses. Those that have carried on are the companies that manage to leverage internal motivation. They leverage our purpose, our reason for existence, the fact that we actually are giving something that is worthwhile. And it's so interesting that yesterday I was watching this young man perform, and it was his passion that shone through, besides his incredible voice and the fact that I think he writes a lot of his own songs as well. But it's the passion. It's the I want to be here. It's the I will travel city to city, night and day, and do this over and over again, because this is what I really want, where I really want to be. And this is the message I really want to get out there. It reminds me of our coffee companion for this week. On Friday in episode 52, we'll have Veronica Kitzman-Crunier. And Veronica is the executive director at LUSA. That is a community chest, as well as the LUSA Social Entrepreneurship Institute. And Veronica spoke. I said to her, how do you ensure that your team is high performance? And especially sort of in a non-profit, right? We don't think about non-profits as high performing necessarily. Where actually they've got to do a lot more with a lot less, as she puts it. And therefore they're a phenomenal team. And she said to me that they all have the same goal, they all have the same values, and they all have the same passion. And because of that, it ignites their spirits to go and make the world a better place, whether at organizational level or at community level. And I thought that's exactly it. How often when we're building a high-performance organization do we think about people, their goals, their values, their purpose, and how they contribute, much like the young man I was listening to, versus, oh, I'm going to pay you a lot of money, which is extrinsic motivation. I'll give you a great car to drive in, or I'll give you an extremely high cell phone call limit, all external, right? But what happens? It eventually falls apart because people they need intrinsic motivation. There must be more than the extrinsic motivation pulling them forward on this path. So I'd like to ask you, how much of what you do is intrinsically and extrinsically motivated? And at the end of the year, when some of us are starting to feel a bit rough around the edges, ask yourself, Do I feel really motivated to do this? And what is it? Is it intrinsic? Is it extrinsic? And what is the message I'm giving to my team members or my employees? Am I motivating them intrinsically or extrinsically? I hope you found this little snippet useful. And if you do, please, if you're on YouTube, like and subscribe. If you are on LinkedIn or if you find us on Facebook, please comment, share, and like, and then go to YouTube and like and subscribe. And then I will see you on Friday when we visit with Veronica. Have a great week.